Hello everyone, this is Steve. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to find the tons of metrics available in BDSS. Metrics are available for league, tournament, open, and drill bowling, and the process to find and review the metrics is the same for all. Metrics are found on the Metrics and Reporting form. There's two ways to get to metrics and reporting, either through managed forms such as Manage League, Manage Tournament, Manage Open Bowl, or Manage Drills, or directly from the bowl form itself. I'll walk you through both methods and I will use league bowling as an example. So let's get started. From the home navigation menu, choose League to take you to the Manage League form. And I'm going to select a league called Thursday Strikers. Under Actions to Take, you'll see a section called Data and Metrics, and a menu option, League Metrics and Reporting. Select it. Next, you have an option to select a specific league week to view metrics for just that week, or to not select a specific league week, in which case you'll only see metrics for the league in total. In this example, I'm going to select week 1 and click Perform Action. A form asking you to select the bowler for which you want to see the metrics will open, and it will tell you who started this league week. If I select Steve, metrics for the league week as well as the total league and all bowling metrics will be available. If I select Sarah, only total league and all bowling metrics will be available since Sarah did not bowl this league week. So I'm going to select Steve and click Fetch League Data to open Metrics and Reporting form. So the first thing to notice is the title. League Metrics for Steve, Thursday Strikers, Week 1. There's also a menu option where you can share your metrics or you can get some additional help. Next, towards the top, you see a game owner and frame owner link. A few key notes about game owners and frame owners. Game owner is the bowler who received credit for the game bowled and associated game metrics such as final scores and average. Frame owner is the bowler who received credit for the frames bowled and associated frame metrics such as strikes made, spabs converted, the ball finish position, etc. Unless you use mid-game bowler substitutes, frame owner will be no different than game owner, as the game owner will own all frames. When I click game owner, I see Sarah and Steve. This is simply the bowlers in the league. When I click frame owner, I see something a little different. First, I see by default the game owner Steve, and then I see any bowler that's substituted for Steve in the defined scope, which is currently set to series. So BDS is telling me that it found that Sarah was a mid-game substitute for Steve at some point in the series. And if I only want to see metrics for the frames that Sarah rolled, I would select her. If I only want to see metrics for the games that Steve rolled, I would select him. So basically, what game owner is telling BDSS is, show me all game metrics in the defined scope for the selected game owner, in this case, Steve. What frame owner is telling BDSS is, show me all the frame metrics in the defined scope for the selected frame owner, who is also Steve right now. Now let's talk about scope for a second. The scope dropdown defines the level of metrics for BDSS to return. Clicking Scope drops down a menu option including Game Scope as well as Series, League, and All Bowling Scope. This Game Scope will only return game metrics for the selected game. Series will only return metrics for the specific series for this league week. Game and Series Scope are only available since we started the Metrics and Reporting form by selecting Week 1. If we did not select a specific week, we would only see this league and all bowling. This league scope will return league level metrics. If we had started metrics and reporting from Manage Open Bowl or Manage Tournament, an equivalent menu option would have been available. And finally, all bowling will return metrics for all types of bowling, including league, open, and tournament bowling. Another item about scope, changing scope will influence the options available in frame owner. You see, scope is series. And when I click frame owner, you'll see Sarah is available as a mid-game sub. That is because BDSS recognizes at some point in the series, Sarah substituted for Steve. Now, if I change scope to game 1, and I click frame owner, only Steve is available. That tells me that Steve owns all the frames for game 1. I happen to know that Sarah substituted for Steve in game 3, so let's select it and click frame owner. And you'll see Sarah's name. If I was to select Sarah as the frame owner, BDSS will only retrieve the frame metrics for Sarah for this game. Okay, so let's put Steve back. And finally, let's choose a scope of this league. And notice frame owner defaults to the game owner, Steve, and disables it. This is because frame owner is only intended to show mid-game substitute metrics for game or series level scope. If a scope of this league or this tournament or open bowling or all bowling is selected, all metrics will show only for the game owner. Another criteria that is available to filter metrics is game format. Selecting the game format link shows 3 options: regular, no tap, and both. Choose regular to filter only on normal bowl scoring, not no tap. Choose no tap to filter only on no tap games, and choose both to filter on regular and no tap games. BDSS will only enable game formats that are available for selection in a given scope. In the middle of the form is a simple narrative that describes the report request, and there is an up-down button to give more room on the form for the reports and tabs and actual metrics. I'll leave it down for now. And of course, there's the tabs. Each tab represents a different report or view of data. In this video, I will review the Recap tab, the Pin Leave tab, the Frame Metrics tab, and the Game Score tabs. The other tabs will have their own videos for you to review. Go back to Recap. So the Recap tab. Let's start with the series scope. Recap is the primary report you will use to view the most common captured metrics. There are several checkboxes to select from which influence which metrics are displayed. The metrics checkbox is available to select regardless of scope chosen and shows game and frame level metrics. So let's start by just selecting it. And as you see, there are 2 groups of metrics displayed. There's game metrics and there's frame metrics. Game metrics are items like final score, complete games, total pins, high-low games, clean games, and others. These are metrics that are owned by the game owner. Frame metrics are items like strikes made over attempted, spares converted over left, splits converted over left, single pin conversions, first ball average, etc. Okay, and as you see, if I change the scope, the metrics will change. So for example, let's change the scope to league, and you will see metrics for the entire league. As an example, 9 clean games out of a total of 66 as an example. In addition, and this feature is only available for league bowling when scope is this league, many of the metrics can be trended with a graph. Any of the metrics showing a blue link can be clicked to see a trend. So for example, I'll click Game 1 average. The trend form will open, showing me a weekly and running trend since the beginning of the league. You could see by the blue line on Steve's Game 1 average, his highest was between weeks 1 and weeks 8 or so. and then it started to level off. And on the bottom of the form, you'll see all the raw data that was being graphed. So there's lots of good information here. Let's go back to the recap form. Next, let's take a look at baggers. So I'm going to unselect metrics and select baggers. Baggers is available for all scope levels and shows the number of strikes in a row for the selected frame owner for the selected scope. You could see there's doubles, turkeys, ham bones, which are 4 in a row, all the way through 12 in a row. And just to note that during Note Tap Bowl, baggers will not include strikes thrown by Note Tap. Only pure strikes, where all 10 pins were knocked down on one ball, are included. Next, let's take a look at League Recap. We'll unselect baggers first, select League Recap. So League Recap is only available if the scope is League, and it gives a week-by-week recap for the selected game owner. So you can see a little bit more clearly. For each week, it will show final scores, series, average, as well as running total pins, games, and average. It will also show week-by-week average delta. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there are 2 trend graphs. There you go. One showing the weekly average trend and one showing the running average trend. Now let's look at game attributes. So I'll unselect League Recap first. And game attributes is only available for game scope. So let's select game 3. Game attributes. And you'll see basic information such as bowl dates, start and end times, game entry type, which in this case is pinfall entry, and bowling center is displayed. Now let's look at frame attributes, and we will keep game 3. Frame attributes is only available when a game scope is selected, and it will show attributes regardless of the selected frame owner. For all frames, it will show the frame owner along with the frame attributes and frame notes if they're available. Frame attributes are only available for games bowled by pinfall entry. Games bowled using quick score entry will not have frame attributes. So you can see in frame 1, the frame owner is Steve. He left a 2-5 and he failed to pick it up, as seen by the red 2-5. Steve wrote frame notes, which are displayed here. And in frame 3, you can see some additional attributes that were captured. And if I scroll down to frames 6 through 10, you can see that Sarah owns those frames. So the last group to review is ball finish position, or BFP. So let's select BFP and unselect frame attributes. And for best effect, let's choose a scope of league. Okay. So BFP is available for all scope levels, and it gives detailed metrics on the position of the ball when it makes impact with the pins. BFP is an optional feature when tracking scores, meaning it could be turned on or off, and as each ball is rolled by the frame owner, the ball finish position can be captured and measured. As I scroll down, you'll see metrics are available for BFP for both strikes and spares. So in this example, you see BFP for strikes made, which shows percentage of strikes, such as light strikes, pocket strikes, high strikes, Brooklyn strikes, and lucky strikes. You see strikes that were attempted, but the strike did not occur, meaning maybe you left a 7 pin or a 10 pin or some other pin combination. And then next are some common pocket leaves. These are non-strikes that hit the pocket that the strike was not made. This shows common leaves such as a standing 7 or a standing 10 or a stoned 8 or stone 9 and a few other combinations. Next is BFP for spares that were made. Options include light spares, solid spares, and high spares. And then finally is BFP for missed spares, which includes misses to the right and misses to the left. Okay, so that's about it for the recap tab. Now let's take a quick look at the pin leaves tab. Pin leaves is a report that, given the selected scope and for the given frame owner, will show each combination of pin leaves along with the number of times left, the times converted, and the percent success. You could sort ascending or descending by percent success. I'll show you ascending in this example. And you can see when you do this ascending, it's mostly splits or all those strange pin leaves. You can sort ascending or descending by times left as well. In this case, I'll do that one descending. And you can see the 10 pin was left the most times, 66 times left. It was converted 77 times. Next was the 7 pin, and so on. Next, let's take a look at frame metrics. So frame metrics is a report that, given the selected scope and the given frame owner, will aggregate each frame and show a detailed roll-up about each frame bold. So detailed metrics includes total strikes, spares, single pin leaves, open, splits, and first ball average, along with the percent success or failure. For example, under the scope of this league, you can see that for frame 1, Steve had 66 strike attempts and made 38 for a total of 57%. He converted 67% of his spares in frame 1. He made 92% of his single pin conversions. He left 13% of his frame 1s open, and he converted 12% of his splits, and an average first ball average in frame 1s of 9.09%. And the last report to demonstrate is the game scores report. Game scores is a report that, given the selected scope and the given game owner, will show each game bold. The games do not have to be complete games. It's any game started by the game owner. It's a pretty simple report. You can click the game number and it will take you directly to the game itself. From here, you can do any editing as you see fit. So let's just go back. And that's all the metrics and reports I wanted to show you in this video. One final thing, I mentioned you can get to the metrics and reporting form directly from a menu item on the Bowl forum. So let me show you how to do that. So let's go back to Manage League, change action to add edit, games for an existing week, and click Perform Action. Steve's already selected and that's fine. Click Begin Game Tracking. The Bowl form opens. Now from the menu in the upper right, click Metrics and Reporting. And the Metrics and Reporting form opens. It defaults to Steve as the game owner for week 1, since that's the game owner and the week the Bowl form was tracking. And that's it for this video. So please take a look at the rest of the videos in this series to learn more about dynamic reporting capabilities of BDSS. I do hope this helped. Please send any questions to tbefeedback@gmail.com and have a great day.